Often a lot of APIs give you an error event to listen to. If they give you opportunities to catch errors like that, then you probably should implement it. If you don't, bad things can happen. For example, your application could terminate unexpectedly, and maybe you want it to terminate, but it's best that you add some programming to handle it yourself, even if it's just to return a printout to the screen. It'll be a better user experience than showing a stack trace. So, let's create an error state by removing http:// and save it, and let's run it. So there's two important things here. Firstly, it says there's an unhandled error, and it's an error event. So we can write an error handler for that. And secondly, there's an error message and a stack trace here, which isn't so friendly. So let's look back at the documentation and see if there's anything we can glean from that. We can chain an error handler onto the request like this, but we can also do it like the other example that we saw before on its own like this. I much prefer this second here because the code is clearer that you're handling the error on the request, whereas down here, it's not so clear that you're doing it on the request. So I'm going to opt to write my code like that. So let's implement our error handler on the request. So we do, scroll up, request.on, and then error, which is the error event, and then a callback. So function, and then a callback. So that's a function, just an anonymous function like that. Now, this code will get executed when the error event is emitted by the system. This callback has an error object passed to it. It's common to see that people put the variable e in here for error, but I'm going to use error for clarity. And then we can log it out with console.error and then error.message. All error objects have a message property. I'm using the error method on the console because in some terminals or console environments, it may display a different color, so it's easy to see what's wrong. Let's run that same code again with the missing http:// and see what happens this time. Now it's just saying the error message, connect e corner refused, i.e. the connection has been refused, which is less scary than a stack trace, but still is ambiguous for the less technical among us. We may decide that this is an appropriate message for someone who's using a command line tool, or we may want to add coding to display a friendlier message, but we'll leave it for now. Now let's add the http:// back in, and let's check if our code is still working. So http:// and jump into the console and node app.js. And we're still getting the response code 200. Cool.